How you guys and girls doing today? Tim 918 here. In this video, we are talking about the current state of Tarkov. Let's do it. What's going on, y'all? How are y'all doing? Like I always say, I appreciate and I love every single one of y'all. And if you enjoy this content, make sure to hit all those buttons down below because it'll jangle a brother's jewels and make a brother nut. But with that being said, y'all, let's get right into the video. So today is just a discussion video, and I wanted to talk about the current state of Tarkov. I see a lot of people talking about like realism, the game leaning to one side more than the other, and I really wanted to just discuss that with the community. So down below in the comments, I just want y'all to go crazy and talk and tell me what you think of Tarkov. What do you think they should do? What do you think is good? What do you think is bad? As of right now, y'all, I think the game is in a pretty decent state. Now, I'm not talking about like problems like desync or hackers and things like that. You know, BSG's always had problems with that, but there's been a massive improvement from the beginning when the game first launched to now. We'll talk about that later, but I really just wanted to discuss like how the game is as of right now. So when we look at Tarkov, the very first thing you think is realism. The first thing you think is like realistic FPS shooter, very hardcore, right? When new players come over to the game, one of the biggest complaints that a lot of new players and just people in general have is that the game is too tough, right? The game is not like your average, relaxing game, I guess. It's not like a single player game, or it's not like Fortnite or Call of Duty or Battlefield where you can just get on, hop in a call with friends and just relax and run around and not really think about what you're doing. And I know Nikita has spoken about this before, and I believe what he said was taken out of context. He said that the game wasn't meant to be fun. When he was asked a question in an interview about, people complaining about the game, saying it's not fun, he was like, the game isn't meant to be fun. It's a realistic military combative experience simulator. And I think that was like taking out of context way too much. I think what he meant by that was like Tarkov is a game that rewards you for the amount of time you put into it. When a lot of people think about games, right? And when we grew up, I sound like a boomer, I'm 24, but when we grew up on these games, just sitting back, relaxing, you get on a game from a long day of work or a long day of school, and you're just looking to escape. You're just looking to escape that stress. You're looking to escape that anxiety or whatever it is you're going through in your life. You're just looking to have fun, right? And Tarkov is not one of those games. Tarkov is not a game that you're going to necessarily get on to chill. Tarkov isn't a game that you chill on. It's not like Tarkov is a game that when you get on, your intention should be to be getting better at the game. I can't really see someone playing Tarkov with like the intention of chilling. The only time I could really think about that is like a very specific scenario, like maybe if you're farming or something like that, you're listening to music and you're just farming. But other than that, when you're going in with gear, it's your own personal gear that you've gained. And games have designed us from a very young age, which is a good thing because games are meant to be fun for the most part. I know that sounds contradicting to what Nikita said, but I'll get into that in a second. But games have designed us for like immediate reward. So you get on a game and you get on a game like Skyrim or Call of Duty or single player games or just things like that. They buff you and they give you certain cheat codes or give you certain things that by the end of the game it makes you feel like a god. It makes you feel powerful. Or it doesn't even wait for you to like get to the end of the game. At the very start of the game, you feel like you're a beast and you're way ahead of everybody else, right? And Tarkov is completely different. And I think what happened with a lot of people is that the game blew up way beyond Nikita's and the team's expectations. And I believe that a whole bunch of people who weren't really aware of what Tarkov was, but just kind of hopped on the hype train, got on Tarkov, and like they would just hit with that hard reality of like, oh, this is not one of those games that I can just get on and just immediately feel the benefits of what like a quote unquote fun game would be. Like, there are two things. There are two versions of it, right? There's like immediate reward and there's like delayed reward. I like an example my friend used the other day when I was talking to him about this. He was like, normal games, single player games, or easy games that you play that give you immediate rewards are kind of like pizza. It feels good in the moment. It's like something that you actually enjoy, while Tarkov is something like a salad or like working out. You know, most people would tell you that salad's nasty as shit, or, you know, people don't like working out. Even the, you know, best of best athletes will tell you they do not like the action of working out, but it's the results that come after it. And that's what Tarkov is about. You know, Tarkov is about putting in that work first, and then you'll see those results later on down the line. I mean, I can say just from my own experience that, like, there's no greater feeling in the world than getting on a game. Like, I enjoy my single player games. I enjoy my easy games, my games that I can get on and relax and not think. But just for me, there's no greater feeling in the world than getting on a game and seeing your stuff start off as like someone who doesn't even know what the hell they're doing. You know, for all the noobs out there, players who are getting started on Tarkov right now, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you know, you don't know the map. You don't even know what an extraction is. You don't even know if those things walking around are players or AI. You're bringing in the wrong ammo type. You don't even know what your gun's called. You don't know what the med system, you know, how it works. But there's nothing better than being, you know, at the beginning of that and then seeing yourself progress slowly, and then over the months or years get to the point where you're able to wipe lobbies and get out, and like, you know, that's your hard-earned your work. You know, that's all your work and your dedication and effort that you put into Tarkov, right? And like I said earlier, in a way, I can definitely sympathize with people and understand what they mean, because I feel like that was taken out of context, what he said. And, you know, at the end of the day, games are meant to be fun. I mean, even though this is meant to be like a realistic experience, the core objective of a game is meant to be maybe not fun per se, but enjoyable. There has to be some kind of enjoyment. But that's where the enjoyment of Tarkov comes in, is when, like I said, you're constantly practicing and getting better, and you see yourself gradually improve. Another huge member of the community, and most people know him, his name's Clean, and you know, he had some opinions to say on this, and I 100% agree with him on a lot of the points, but just disagree with one. You know, he talks about how BSG just needs to actually focus on the game that they want to create, because how many times have we seen it, y'all? I mean, we see games like that have literally held our hearts for years be crushed in an instant when they release the new game that comes out, because they try to cater to one side of the community. And you could definitely see that going on with Tarkov, like if they were to decide to go down that path. You know, there's never going to be like a perfect, you know, a perfect midway point for gaming. You know, there's going to be always going to be like a divided community. Tarkov, there's going to be people who are like, oh man, you know, this is absolutely ass, this is absolutely horrible, you know, it's too hard, you're making it really hard on new players, there's no tutorial or nothing like that, you know, you're no life in it, oh my goodness, the flea market is level 20 now, this is ridiculous, right? And then you've got other people on the other side of the spectrum, right, who will say the exact opposite. Oh my god, you know, this sucks, this is some ass, because this game is way too easy. You know, they're trying to cater to the easier players. There shouldn't be rats in the game. You shouldn't be rewarded for just sitting back in a corner and just not doing anything, and oh my goodness, there's too many chads. So there's always going to be like a divide in the community, right? But like Clean had said, and I agree with him on this point, is that like Battle State just needs to focus on what it is that they want to do. They need to keep that vision in mind. And even though all of us as a community want to see the game prosper, and we might have our own individual opinions, at the end of the day, there is a lot of pressure on Nikita and the whole team to make that final decision and say so on what they want to add to the game, what they want to take away, and how they ultimately want the game to turn out. Now, with that being said, though, I will say one thing is for sure, that I disagree with, that a lot of people say. Like, even though the game is meant to be realistic, right? There comes a point where it would just be absolutely ridiculous, to the point where it would just be like not even fun isn't the word, but like it wouldn't even be entertaining to play. It would just be like too tedious to play, all right? And I understand what, like I said before, you know, Tarkov isn't a game that you're just gonna get home from work and just hop on casually, right? Like we've all established that, but I don't want Tarkov to reach like the state of like realism, you know what I mean? To the point where you're wearing all this armor, but in real life, you know, it doesn't matter what kind of armor you have on in real life. If you took 2 or 3 shots to the chest of M855A1 or just any round or 7.62 or whatever, one bullet and you're down for the count. 1 or 2 bullets to your chest and you're not going to keep moving. The bullet might not penetrate if you want to be on the realistic side of armor penetration and stuff like that, but you would have several broken ribs and bruises and maybe some damaged organs. You'd be down for the count. Or something like painkillers, right? We pop painkillers and you're able to run on broken legs. Realistically speaking, if you get shot in your arm by just a pistol bullet or something, or shot in your leg, you're probably going to be down. You're not going to be in that fight anymore. Painkillers wouldn't do anything. Or, getting blasted point blank from a shotgun. There's no such thing as blacked out in real life, right? There's no such thing as a blacked out arm or blacked out leg. If someone gets up close to you with a shotgun and shoots you in the arm or leg, your arm or leg is now mush. It looks like diarrhea. It's just nothing but mush. So once again, that would be it. So I don't want the game to get to that point of ultra realism where it will become like an inconvenience to get on the game. I think so far what they're doing right now is like the perfect balance. They've definitely got the realism side of the game, and Tarkov is definitely one of those games. It's like one of the most unique games out there. I can say that for sure, that there's no other FPS experience like Tarkov. Like, it's definitely in a category of its own. And that's like the blessing and the curse of it, because I know that Nikita wouldn't want the game to blow up as big as Battlefield or Call of Duty, but it would never get to that size anyway. It wouldn't have, a huge, massive following like, Overwatch or League, WoW, Dota, Call of Duty, things like that, because of the way that the game is designed. It's always going to be small. And it'll definitely pick up speed as the years go by and it progresses and things like that, but it'll always like remain a in its own category. But y'all, at the end of the day, I think that the game as it is right now is in a decent state. There are definitely some things that could be changed. There are definitely some things that could be altered. Bugs, glitches, exploits, and hackers aside, there are definitely some things in game that could be changed, But like overall, I think that the game is in a very good state. Now, I will say this, like as time progresses, we're definitely going to want to see, and let me know what y'all think in the comments, but we're definitely going to want to see like updates more frequently. I understand that they're a small team and they're taking on huge projects, but when you think about it, we have like 6 to 7 months in between each wipe. And even for those casual players who might play only like an hour to a couple of hours a day, before you know it, with the questing system and things like that, you'll be level 20 or 30 and you'll have everything unlocked. I will say another thing that Clean had talked about on his Twitter, and a whole bunch of other content creators had talked about, and he was like, the flea market should be locked for specific tiers, which I agree with as well. So it takes you to level 20 now to get to the flea market, but then you would until level 25 you wouldn't be able to buy like a good weapon, or decked out weapons. And then level 30 you would be able to buy like high value items you need for the hideout. And then level 40 you'd be able to buy the good ammo off the flea market. Like, they should still break it up, because in all honesty, getting to level 20, and my friend said this as well, getting to level 20 is kind of like the tutorial of Tarkov. It's like there is no actual tutorial for the game, so you drop in with no knowledge, you're gonna get shit on for a very long time until you adjust or you quit. There really is no in between. But like the questing system and the way that the game's set up, like it'll lead you and it'll like slowly teach you as you go. Tarkov is just one of those games that you can watch YouTube videos on it, but it truly is like that experience. And as you continuously play, you'll get better. You just have to get yourself into the game. And but I really think that once you get to level 20, the sky is the limit. Like, as long as you have money, you're good to go. You can buy literally anything off the flea market. So most people think, okay, all I have to do is just put my head down and grind, and then when I hit level 20, I'm good. I can go from, it's a major jump, and like I think it really accelerates the progression of the wipe a lot faster than it should. Like, oh man, 2 or 3 weeks in, let me just grind real quick, let me just get to level. There were people who, Landmark and these other big streamers who were able to get to level 20 within 2 or 3 days of just, nonstop grinding. And even though that's not what a lot of us can do, it's like, damn, like, now as long as you know how to make money, and making money in Tarkov is really easy when you think about it, especially if you know where to go. It's like, damn, now you have access to everything. You just went from, slowly progressing with everyone else, pistols, shotguns, maybe level 2, 3 armor and stuff like that, to just straight up slick armor if you want to. You've got the money, you can, you can bring in AP and the best, gear every single game. So with that being said, y'all, just to round out this video, man, I think that Tarkov is in a decent state right now. Like I said, there could be some tweaks and some things that they change, but overall, I do think the game is in a good state. Like I said before, I don't want them to get to the point of like ultra realism to where it will be like an inconvenience to play the game, but I definitely don't want them to make the game too easy. I'm going to say one more thing because I know I'm dragging this on, but you know, remember when they back in the day, for all of those legacy players who started playing the game way early, remember when we didn't have the med system, or we didn't have the med animation system and the ammo system? And for those of y'all who don't know, like way before the game is where it is now, you wouldn't even have to sit there and pack your magazines. You know, you could just bring in a stack of ammo like you normally do. You would drag it to your mag and it would instantly fill up. Or, you know, with meds, you could hotbar your meds like most people do now, but there was no animation for it. You could just keep on spamming your hotkey and you'd be able to go right back into a fight. So you take a whole bunch of damage, oh, no problem. You know, you have that med thing, or you could be shooting at somebody while just pressing your hotkey and constantly healing up. And when they had announced that those changes coming, the community went crazy. Whenever BSG announces anything, I mean, the community is going to go crazy. A lot of people are going to be like, yes, this is good. Another half of them is going to be like, oh, this is going to kill it. This game's dead now, whatever. And I'm not going to lie, when they announced it, I was like, oh my God, man, this game's tough. All right. You know, I was just getting into the game. I was like, oh my God, man, this is tough already. I cannot imagine them adding this. Like, this is not gonna be good, man. I really hope that this doesn't break the game or destroy it. And it turned out to be one of the best updates, y'all. It turned out to be one of the best things BSG ever did. You know, that's a perfect example right there of what BSG should constantly do. Like, they get the feedback and things like that from the community, and they don't make any crazy changes based on people's opinions, but they stick strictly to the plan of what they want to do, and they adjust depending, you know, on the majority of the community's feedback, but like nothing too crazy. So like that was one of the best changes that came to the game, and it literally changed how you took fights, you know, how you positioned, you know, and things like that. So just with that being said, y'all, I think the game's in a good state. Let me know what you think. There are some things that need to be changed. I really do hope in the future, maybe as BSG grows, this whole Corona thing, you know, is dead, and they're able to get back to the office and things like that, double down, increase their team size and stuff. I really hope that we get updates more frequently. And it doesn't even have to be like updates like that actually apply in game, even though that would be nice, of course, because I know, you know, it takes a lot of work to work on a map and bring in new, you know, things into the game that won't break it, and they have to test it and stuff like that. And you know, even with all that, you're still prone to stuff, but just updates in general from the team, you know, just want to get more updates constantly, so that way we know what the state of Tarkov is going to be like down the road. I feel like, you know, we only get a couple updates every now and then, and that's when we're close to the update actually being implemented into the game, and not just like a state of limbo that we're in for like 4 or 5 months after an update releases. So just more constant updates, man. But I think they're doing a good job. I think as long as they keep on going on the path they're going on now, and they don't try to cater to one extreme side of the community, I really think that Tarkov can become one of the best FPS games out there, simply because there's no other game like it, and it stands alone in its own category. But let me know down in the comments below what you think, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Appreciate those for watching all this. It makes my jingles Joel and my collies cold. But with that being said, see y'all later.